And that is the one that I think, honestly, I think most people that are alive right now are not ready for awakening. They won't, their psyche, or we might even say their soul, is not ready to surrender materialistic existence. That's most people on this planet. There seems to be, and I'm sort of speculating here, but there seems to be a sort of a logic to how living beings evolve through life. By which I mean that literally there's a sort of a series of incarnations that consciousness goes through, from lower life forms to higher life forms and then beyond. And it really seems to me that most human beings who are alive right now, it's not the case that all human beings are on the same level and that they're all equally capable of awakening and that they're all equally developed and that they're all equally willing to discover the truth or to even care about the truth. No, that doesn't explain it. The majority of mankind are in such a low state of consciousness that even if you show them the truth, even if you show them God, even if you show them some of the stuff that I've talked about, they won't be able to handle it because it's not right for them yet. It's not their time yet. Maybe they need to live through 10 more lifetimes before they finally realize they become conscious enough to see that really the highest way to live life is not materially. And I'm saying this not as somebody who's completely above material existence, but actually the opposite. I'm saying it because I still feel within myself various materialistic attachments that I have, sometimes to money, sometimes to sex, sometimes to whatever, right? And I see that I have a very clear vision of like what it would mean to be fully awake and to be able to embody that, to live from God consciousness all the time. But it's a beautiful, incredible vision of what I could become, and of course what anybody could become. There's nothing special about me in this regard. But then in trying to actualize that, I also see all of the Buddhists call them defilements that I have, and all of the spiritual purification work that needs to happen. A lot of disciplining of myself and purifying myself in various ways, purifying my mind, purifying my body, and all this, purifying my diet, purifying the news sources that I watch, the way I entertain myself. You know, what do I do for entertainment and relaxation? Like all of this stuff. And so really, they have some good models and theories about this in Buddhism and also in the yogic systems. You know, like for example, in the yogic systems, they talk about, if you consider 7 chakras, you've got your base chakras, which is, you know, starting from the very bottom of your spine going upwards. You know, your first chakra, chakra 1, corresponds to your most basic needs, like your needs to defecate and your needs to just be physically safe and just like very earthy type of needs, you know, basic survival needs, without which you couldn't even be an organism. And then, you know, you move up to second chakra. Second chakra would be your sort of genital area. It's responsible for that, of course, controlling your sex drive. So if you're, for example, a person who's addicted to sex all the time and you can't get sex out of your mind, and it's just this constant thing that's always like your whole life is dominated by sex and the need for sex and the pursuit of sex, and you invest thousands of hours into this, you know, planning how to get more sex and, you know, all this sort of stuff. If that's what your life is about, then you're kind of like living at that chakra 2 level. And that's kind of like where you are in this lifetime. And then you can evolve beyond that to chakra 3, which is more of your navel area. And then, you know, that corresponds to certain things as well. And then so you kind of move up, then you move on to the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and then, you know, the third eye, and then ultimately the crown, which corresponds to ultimate liberation and, I guess you could say, to total Buddha nature, total God realization. So that's an interesting model. It's pretty useful as far as talking about this. See, so a lot of people are stuck. People who get into self-help, they're stuck at those let's say those first 3 chakras. So teachings which are talking about the higher chakras, they fall on deaf ears. It's like in one ear and out the other. Or even if they resonate with you to some degree, you're so stuck on your lower chakras that you can't really actualize the higher ones. Maybe you can, take a psychedelic and it'll show you a peak experience of a chakra 6 or chakra 7, some visionary mystical state or full non-dual God consciousness. You get that on a powerful psychedelic. That's great, but then you fall right back down into chakra 2 and you're addicted to sex and you're addicted to junk food and you're addicted to porn and you're addicted to TV and whatever else. YouTube these days. I guess it is with you guys. But hey, I'm guilty of that too. I don't actually have a TV, but I still watch quite a bit of YouTube. So anyways, the point of all this is that, some of you, I get the sense that when you hear me talking about awakening so much, then you get interested in awakening simply because I'm talking about it. And then it's like, you get this sense that, well, the point of my life is to awaken. Everybody needs to awaken. And that's not quite right. That's a mistake. First of all, there's zero normativity behind awakening. So never have I said, nor will I ever say, that you must awaken and that awakening is the one right path for everybody and that there's a good reason for you to awaken. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever for you to awaken. Other than that, you want to. You want to discover the truth. You care to experience God, or you care to understand reality. If these things are interesting to you, then pursue awakening. If you're tired of material existence and you feel dissatisfied with it and you're looking for some way out of the rat maze, pursue awakening. But if you just entered the rat maze, if you just started your material existence and you're still not fed up with it, and maybe you're not really interested in truth, like if you're honest, like, do I care about the truth? No. I mean, Leo talks about it, but I don't care about it. I would just care about like having a nice career and having a nice family and having a nice spouse and, hanging out with the family and just doing fun stuff and whatever. Like, if that's honestly what you are driven towards, pursue that rather than lofty metaphysical topics that I talk about.